So I had another hospital appointment.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Hmm. Okay. So we're gonna open with some fun on this one, I guess. I've apparently decided by opening with that. Um.
Okay, yeah, sure.
So, as people probably have become aware at some point within the past like 4 months of me talking about it, I have bad blood pressure. It's actually got a lot better. Medication's really working. It's good. It's helpful. Um, but as a part of like just running the tests, seeing if there's other causes, they arranged for other tests to be done and got me the appointment. Like sent me a letter saying, "Hey, you have an appointment." Like 3 days before the appointment itself, which is always fun. Uh, you know, afternoon on a
Mm,
Tuesday. That's yeah, love having short notice for that kind of thing. Um, but uh, my mom volunteered to take me, which was very nice of her. She is a lovely woman and deserves all the respect and happiness that can be provided. Uh, and what the test was is it was basically a test doing an ultrasound on my bladder.
oh,
Now, for people who have not had a similar test, this is actually a test that is done for a lot of things. So it is entirely possible that other people have actually had this done for different reasons. It's also apparently a pregnancy thing that they do, and they say the same. You have to do the same thing, which I'm sure is much worse if you're pregnant. But the way it works is they say, "Hey, you have an appointment at this time. What we need you to do is at minimum 1 hour before the appointment, you need to have drank uh, between 1 and 1.5 pints of water.
hmm
Specifically, water or like at most like fruit squash. Um, and 1 to 1.5 pints is at the upper end. It's about close to a liter, which is a lot to drink all at once, and to not relieve your bladder until the appointment is done. This seemed eminently doable to me in the innocence of the before times. um, so I did that, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. I just have to not think about it, and everything's fine. And I'm going to go in, and I'm going to get the thing done. Then I'm going to immediately ask where a toilet is so I can just get it sorted, and it's fine. It's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to be a big deal. So we're driving to the hospital, and
hmm
we're not even halfway there, and I already need to piss. Like, not even close to the hospital yet. There's a little bit of traffic. It's not terrible, but, we're going to show up maybe 20 minutes before my appointment. It's fine. It's like, okay, this is going to be uncomfortable, but I can do this. It's not going to be that bad. It's just I kind of feel like I have to pee, and I can't. I just have to do my best to not think about it. I am not a child. I can just hold it just fine. It's okay. It's all good. We're all good. Nothing to worry about.
hmm
So we get to the waiting room. It's like, okay. Wait for your name to be called. Okay, cool. So we're just sitting there, and I'm starting to tap my foot a little bit. It's like, okay,
Okay.
okay, this is getting. Mm-hmm. And I'm waiting, and we're watching the doors, and it's like there's multiple doors for like different testing rooms and different things. I think there's like a CAT scan thing in the same area, something like that. Um, it's like okay, just gotta wait it out. Just tapping a tippity tip tapping foot. It's just mm-hmm. So the whole leg shaking at this point. Just watching, waiting for anyone to come out of the actual ultrasound place so I know how long thereabouts it's going to take before it's my turn. Just kind of figuring out the details and puzzling out like how long, how. Just give me a time frame so I have a goal that I can focus on. Give me something. And it's like 10 minutes. And eventually someone comes out and they call out a different name. It's like, okay, oh, okay. by the law of averages, how many of these people are going to be for the same thing that I'm here for? It turned out it was quite a few. They were running quite very far behind. So at some point, my mom asks, "Hey, do you want to stand up and walk around? It might help." And I'm like, "No, I'm fine. I'm a grown up. I can handle this. It's fine. Everything's cool. It's good. It's good. It's good." About 10 minutes later, I stand up and start pacing back and forth along the waiting room. I'm just getting, I have not needed to piss this much in years.
Oh.
And I am getting to be in a bit of a bad way, because I am just staring daggers at this doorway, willing someone to come out, and eventually someone does. It's like, okay. And someone else's name gets called. I'm like, hold on. You can do this. Just keep telling yourself you can do this. Starting to get a little bit pissed off, because it's like, okay, this is an appointment for which they specifically tell you to do something that is going to be a little on the uncomfortable side if it gets done in time. This is not in time. So it gets to the point where I absolutely just reach my breaking point. I'm just like, nope, I did my best. I can't. If I don't find the toilet now, I'm going to piss myself in the waiting room. So I just sort of excuse me at the fucking waiting room desk. Toilet, please. Where? And like, oh, it's over there around the corner. I just go. My plan is maybe to relieve a little pressure, and then go in. Right? It's also not a comfortable thing, but it's a different kind of uncomfortable that I can manage. So I go into the toilet and let loose a little bit, and then they call my name.
Oof.
10, 15 seconds after I close the restroom door and have started peeing.
No.
I loudly swear while I'm in there and force myself to stop. That is not a fun experience on its own, by the way. It's not fun, and also it is not secure, let's say, to do that. Leakage happens. It is inevitable. I'm like, okay. Situation has occurred. Can we still do this with me having to have pissed already? I still have some in the tank, so to speak. And he's like, yeah, that's fine. It's all okay. He apologizes, and he's like, it's a training hospital, so they have trainee doctors to do the procedures, and so they learn how to do it, and that's why it was taking so long, because they were having a trainee do it. And he says, okay, for you, I'm going to do this for myself, because the waiting has gotten so long. It's bad for the patients. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks. So he starts the ultrasound, and then he immediately says, oh, full bladder. Very nice. Reminded that I've been pissing for about 10 seconds, like a minute ago. Yep. And he's like, oh, full bladder. I'm like, what the fuck was it before then?
That was just the stuff that was getting out of the bladder, Is creeping up the tubes.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. So we do the test, and he's like, I ask because it's just reasonable. Anything to be worried about? And he's like, yeah, nothing really jumping out. You'll discuss it at your next appointment. And it's like, fair enough. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to get a spot diagnosis right there unless something is really drastically wrong. So okay, it's all done. Guides us out of the area because I'm blind as fuck and don't know where anything is. And points us to the nearest toilet on the way out. He said full bladder. He wasn't kidding. I stood at the urinal for maybe a solid 2 minutes. Still.
This is making me need to go take a piss.
Tough. That, mein Freunde, is called tough. Also, we also call that not German. I don't know what the fuck I was doing there, but that's not German. I was going for German.
I'm feeling the need. I may need to participate in some sympathetic pissing.
Yeah, and you're not allowed. We're going to run this through. Sorry.
I can leave.
Feel my pain, bitch.
I remember when I told the story of how I had to wait 6 hours. Yeah, yeah. I've already
Mm.
felt the pain. I know the pain. I was
Oh yeah,
molded
you
by it.
did. Yeah, that's true. We both experienced it. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, you still don't get to go, but fair enough.
Fuck you! I don't get to go.
So yeah, that was fun. Not an experience I'm keen to repeat, but it's done and I don't have to worry about it. And then we went to KFC on the way home, which was good. I haven't had takeaway in God months upon months. And then like yesterday, I somehow broke and ended up ordering Domino's because I had a craving like I haven't had in again months. And if we had recorded a week ago, I would have been very proud to say I've lost over a kilogram in weight. As of now, it's more like 300, 400 grams. So about a pound, just for
I
clarification's
mean,
sake.
it's always an up and down, you know.
It is, yes. That's a thing I've learned of. Like I bought the bathroom scale, and it's sort of a thing of okay, weigh yourself at one particular time of day and use that as your measuring stick, which should probably be first thing in the morning
Yes.
after your ablutions, because that is probably the most consistent it's going to be and give you a better idea of how things are going. Because, end of the day is going to depend on a lot of factors of what you've been
End
doing
of the
during the
day
day.
is
Yeah,
almost always going to be your heaviest.
it will, yeah. Because you've got all of the stuff that you have eaten and drank that is still getting processed through your body, and you will also sweat a lot during the night. People sometimes don't realize that you actually do sweat quite a bit while you're sleeping, regardless of anything. So, first thing in the morning is the most consistent time and will be the kindest looking on your scale anyway. So, that's, very
Hmm.
reassuring. But yeah, I started at 97 when I was doing the hospital thing last time in October, I think it was. Over the course of a month or so, it went up to 98 and then came down again to 97. And then with watching what I'm eating and stuff like that, it's gradually gone down to 95.8 and has since gone back up to
Nice.
96.9 due to,
If you don't mind me, if you don't mind me asking, how tall are you?
I'm 5'10". We're about the same height, if
Okay,
I
so,
remember
yeah, we're
right.
about the same height.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the same height then. Yeah. Um,
So my weight isn't, oh my God, that's a problem kind of weight, but it is high
yeah.
and needs to be handled for various reasons. Just general health being one of them, and
So,
it's bad for blood pressure being another.
like the differences that people will understand is stuff like, build, density, muscle mass, and things like that can affect like how that weight sits on you and how much of that weight is actually like unhealthy.
Yeah.
Um,
I have always had a bit of a stocky build, but I have
yeah.
basically no muscle mass. Well, not none, but like the minimal you could have with still being healthy and not fucking atrophied is probably how I would
Yeah.
describe it. So like,
Like I would say like my weight right now is relatively similar to yours, but
yeah,
I
but
have
you work out. Yeah.
yeah, it's a lot more muscle mass than it is like fat. Because like you can be like a 220 pounds and have like it be mostly fat and have 220 pounds be like a lot more muscle, and it's a huge difference, right?
Yeah.
Don't even look like the same person.
Yeah.
That being said, I have a goal that I'm going for, and I've yet to reach it because life keeps lifing.
Yeah. It would be nice to get below 90 kilo, I think, would be a nice goal. That's not
Yeah.
too unrealistic. I'm just going to quickly.
Yeah, that's 198
100,
pounds.
198, yeah. So clearing the
That's
200
that's what I
pounds
want to.
mark, that would be really nice.
Yes, that's kind of my similar goal. What I would like to do is get to like 190 pounds or 86 kilo.
Mm.
That would be like peak fitness for my build. Because like I've talked to my dad about this. If I go any thinner than that, I start to look sickly.
Hmm.
So like that's like a good like healthy weight to be at if I'm exercising and like building muscle.
Yeah. Yeah. There is a lot further I could go, but I don't care that much. uh, I don't mind being a little on the larger side, but I just want to be in, let's say, vaguely gesturing towards a healthier weight would be nice.
Yeah. To give you like before I started my whole exercise thing and to say it in like kilo terms, because you're more familiar with that.
I'm
Before I
not,
started
but this
this,
is what my scale runs on. So,
okay. Before I started this, back in like last summer, my highest weight was 246 pounds or 111 kilo,
mm,
which was really bad. Like it had gone really bad because I've been very like sedentary
yeah.
um over the summer. So I mean I've lost like over 30 pounds. So I mean you gotta keep with it. Consistency.
Yep. It's just a matter of staying on it and staying strong. Like
Yeah.
it has helped just generally for the most part of being aware of it. A lot of the food that I'm getting is like frozen meals instead of like refrigerated meals, which has helped in an unexpected way because I'm pretty sure what's happening is the frozen meals have more water in them, I guess, rather than actual like food calorie stuff in them.
hmm I mean, yeah,
So
obviously it's
they don't feel quite as filling, but they are filling enough to get me through the day. I just have to maintain like control of not actually just okay, I don't feel full, so I'm going to have a snack as well, kind of thing. Just sort of letting it sit. You have eaten, you're fine, kind of thing.
if if you want a snack, then you're probably gonna want something that's like super low calorie.
Yeah.
Um, like for example, like carrots, super low calorie, but you know they
Mm.
fulfill the need in your brain to crunch on something.
Mm. You know, it's interesting trying to look at whether a food is healthy or not because it's such a mess these days.
It is.
And I mostly blame keto. Like 90% I blame keto. Because
Keto
if
is. I've got some thoughts on keto because I did it before back in 2020. That's when I lost like a crap ton of weight.
it can work, but it is also one, it's a massive overreaction to some absolutely horrendous ideas for diet that were instituted over the past few decades of just like, hey, fat's bad for you, so eat carbohydrates instead. Have, what was it, like 7 to 11 servings of bread a day, I think was recommended in America for a while there.
hmm
That is way too much bread. I don't feel like I have to say that, but somehow I have to say that. That is way too much bread. But like, yeah, that being the whole thing of, hey, fat makes you fat, so eat carbohydrates instead. And then everyone ate way too much carbohydrates and got super fat because it's just easily to process into sugar. And just like, that's not great either. How about we say sensible things like have some carbohydrates, some fats, some fiber, some protein, and just, have a mix of, what's the term? A balanced diet? Am I saying that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So keto is basically carbohydrates are evil because look at that. We ate so many carbohydrates that now we're fat. And that's not how that works either. What keto does is basically a very specific subset of starving yourself.
Hmm. Um, it's when I did keto,
Mm-hmm.
I dropped weight really fast,
Yep.
but it also is extremely unsustainable.
Like I said, it does
That's
work. You will lose weight, but
um the best advice that I've ever received and give out is if you're gonna be like losing weight and becoming healthier, like you have to make changes that you can do consistently that you can just naturally add to your lifestyle.
yeah,
Like that's the idea is consistency is key. Yes,
yep,
sometimes you will go and have like a nice big meal and your weight will go up and that's fine because if you're consistent, it's not going to matter in the long run.
yep. It will go up, but then you will continue doing the activities where it goes down again. That
Yes.
is literally what a cheat day is. It is you're being a good boy or good girl for like 95, 99, ideally percent of the time, and then one day out of a month maybe you just treat yourself and have something really nice and satisfying. That's fine. It is my
Yeah.
birthday next week, by the way, and we're going for KFC again. Just throwing that out there.
Yay. Thank you for supporting my family business.
You're welcome. Thank you for not suing me for stealing your iconography.
I remember when I asked my dad about the freaking Colonel Sanders dating somebody. He's like, "What?" He had no idea.
Yeah, neither did the Colonel's living relatives. You saw that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the relatives being so mad about dating Sim Sanders that he fucking released the recipe, or at least a recipe for the chicken. Oh, yeah. Even if I've backslid a little bit, I am still in better position than I was a month ago. So, that's still good.
Yeah. I mean, it's the progress does not like ever actually go away is a thing.
And until you stop doing it completely and just give up.
No, like something I've learned is your body sort of remembers certain thresholds that you're at for like a period of time. So it becomes easier for your body to kind of get back into that gear. Like, for example, I spent a lot of time
Oh,
at like 215, and so it becomes easier for me to get down to 215
yeah.
if I go back.
That kind of, well, I guess I'm not actually bringing up the same thing that you just brought up, but this was the thing that I wanted to mention earlier, which was basically by deliberately eating less, it got a lot easier to eat less.
And yes, that's true as well.
Yeah. So, like, at the start, it was like, oh, this doesn't feel great, but I'm gonna lose weight. I know what the scale's gonna say if I continue eating, if I have another meal or whatever. So I'm just gonna not. I'm just gonna bear through it, and it's fine. You've eaten. You're nourished. You're fine. And over time, I had to think about that less because
Yeah.
the less food that I was eating ended up feeling perfectly normal, perfectly satisfying because I had stopped being used to eating more than I probably needed to.
The body is very adaptable.
Yeah.
So, and also like if you're also working out, for example, and you build muscle, it becomes a lot easier to then do like higher amounts of like intense exercise to like, walk it back a bit. Like
Mm,
it's easier to get back into shape if you've been in shape before.
mm,
It's different from trying to get into shape for the first time in your life.
yeah.
Which is interesting.
Yeah. We have sort of shimmied our way into becoming sort of a health focused podcast, and I'm not entirely sure how that happened. I think it might be the part where I was super unhealthy and it was causing problems. and,
And I started
and
talking about my me becoming healthy, and then patients
and
started getting
patient was
healthy,
talking
and then
about
we're all
his.
starting to
Yeah,
get healthy.
the patient started well before us, and he's still working on it. Good for him.
Yeah.
Power to him.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're all kind of on a health kick at the moment, and it's a good thing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Getting to
Uh,
that point where it becomes more and more important.
yeah, it's a fun thing. In your 30s, you learn about the thing that is probably going to kill you one day, and it's kind of a kick in the
Yep.
ass.
Yep. Yep.
Kidneys or a fucking vein in my brain is going to go pop, and that's how that's going to go for me. Or possibly heart.
Well,
Heart is also a thing.
well, is how it is.
Yeah,
We
Something's
just
going to get
make
you
it
one
as
day,
best we
but
can.
you just kind of gotta ameliorate those possibilities as much as is reasonable.
Yeah.
So speaking of less uh, healthful things, I guess.
Yeah.
I have learned to hate Adi Shankar. On the other hand, I have found a new video essayist that I really like, apparently,
Okay.
which should be
Please
not be
explain.
surprising for who they're connected to. So Foxcade is a YouTuber, video essayist, cool dude. He's friends with Super Eye Patch Wolf and Wooly Versus. So
Yeah.
it should not be a surprise that I like their stuff. But he did a video on the the Netflix Devil May Cry show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch that show. I had no idea how badly they butchered Lady.
Was it bad?
Um, Let me put it in terms that she would put it. I don't fucking know. Maybe it's pretty fucking bad if someone fucking swears every 40 fucking seconds on every third fucking line when they feel so fucking fucked about fucks. This video is demonetized. They
Oh,
cancelled our AdSense account yesterday, by the way. I got an email about it, and I'm like, we had an AdSense account?
we didn't even use that.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
uh, just, Lady is probably my favorite character in Devil May Cry. It's probably a weird take, but yeah. It's probably Lady and then Nero. And God, I'm not even sure where Virgil would fit into the list there, to be perfectly honest.
The the random curse words thing where it's just constant that you mentioned is something that you always see in the works of an amateur writer who cannot think of something more interesting to say. It's
Yeah.
it's kind of overdone.
I, there are so many things in that show that I didn't know were a thing. Like, there's some things that are like fucking. I don't. It's stupid, but I don't really care. Like, Agni and Rudra have heads. They have the heads on their swords, but they also just have regular heads. And that's stupid and kind of ruins the point of them, but I don't care that much. I'm not going to get up in arms over it. But, like, Lady, though. Lady, though. They turned her into a jackbooted thug cop who murders demon immigrants. Because there are
Huh.
demon immigrants in the show.
That's I don't like that. I don't like that at all, Casey. I don't like that. It's not good.
And they have it as like a whole, like, the US government is storming into the demon world and killing all the refugee demons. But also at the same time, we're supposed to feel sorry for all the demons. The demons are literally invading and murdering people. And
Um, hmm.
what's the message here? Are demons supposed to be like a substitute for refugees? Or are they supposed to be demons?
I
Are we supposed to have a screening system so we only let the good ones in? Is that what we're doing? We need to vet them and put them
I don't
in
like
secure
this.
facilities where,
I don't like.
they have to be housed, and if they don't have the right. It was. Yeah, it reads worse now than it did like 2 years ago, and it didn't read great 2 years ago.
Yeah, this. Hmm.
Yeah, so I don't like Adi Shankar, and I understand why people really don't like Adi Shankar now. Ugh. Um, Yeah. So Voxcade is a cool dude. He doesn't just do like takedown videos, though. This was a fairly reasonable takedown video. It's sort of like a cross between Eye Patch Wolf and H Bomber Guy kind of thing. Is the vibe I get. I don't like doing the this cross with this kind of fucking clickbait article style of criticism, but that is kind of what it feels like to me. Um, of just like when he's doing criticism of something, he will start sounding like H Bomber Guy, and when he really likes something, he starts sounding a bit more like Eye Patch Wolf. Um, and he's done some positive things alongside the more criticizey videos. Like he did a an interesting video on the One Piece live action. He did one on the Yakuza live action. It's one of those where it's like this isn't Yakuza, but whatever. It's whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
one that I really liked surprisingly a lot, and is making me consider like finding a way to watch something new, is he did a interesting video on Star Trek: The Next Generation, which is a show that I have many times thought of as, hey, that's a show I should probably watch, and then I don't. The feeling is stronger now to watch that show. I will say. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good channel. Is Foxcade. Very good stuff. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
And last thing that I have to talk about is I had an urge to finally finish a game that I started. God, when did I start this game? Fucking, I don't know if it says when I started the game. It was a while ago though. Dragon Quest XI. Last time we talked about it, I had stopped a little bit into Act 2, partially because the characters pissed me off, and partially because the stuff that happened in May happened, and I had to reset a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that time when I had to completely reformat my hard drive and other things.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, so I got back into playing that game, and I finished Act 2, which it really wants to make you think that that is the end of the game for some reason.
Yeah.
Like it's certainly a choice to have that be the end of the game and you beat the final boss and everything's fine, and then you have credits roll with like everyone going back to doing the things that they care about, and uh end of the credits happen and everything's fine, and then it says, hey, do you want to save your completed file? And you save it, and it's got a little star next to it to make sure you know that is a completed save game, and then it kicks you back to the title screen. They really want you to think that's the end of the game. This is worse than Nier Automata ever was.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that game goes in some directions that I did not expect it to go.
Oh yeah, it does.
Yeah. I had been spoiled on some things that you can do in Act 3. So I knew a certain thing was going to happen to undo a thing that happens in Act 2. But when that thing happened in Act 2, I was very surprised and confused and really did wonder, wait, did I read that wrong? Or is this one of those things where people are actively... There is an active effort within the community to just sort of anti-spoil people and make them think the wrong thing? Because that happens in some communities, you know. But yeah, I'm very much talking around all the stuff in this game so far. And I feel like I should probably just put this at the end and just talk about it more openly. It's just like, hey, this is the stuff where we're talking spoilers for Dragon Quest XI Act 2, a game that came out in 2017, but, you know, a game I think people really should play because it's really, really good. So, yeah, I think I'll just stop talking about it there and just, yeah, people should play that game.
Okay, we can talk about it after. I've also been Dragon Quest 11, so
Yeah.
it's been a while though, so I'm a little bit iffy on remembering some things.
Mm.
But yeah. In that case, maybe we'll get back to that. I can talk about some stuff that I've been doing.
Yeah.
So I have been watching well, it's been a few weeks since we've recorded.
Mm.
So it's actually more stuff than I thought. Um, I'm not sure I ever mentioned if me finishing Andor, the Star Wars show.
You have talked about watching it. I don't know whether you talked about finishing it.
I finished season one and season two of Andor. That is the best Star Wars thing that they've done.
Ever?
Yes,
Hmm.
it is incredibly grounded in the way that it establishes everything, and the stakes are very real, but it also is written in and and done in such a very mature way. Like this is not intended for children. I can tell you right now.
Hmm.
Um, like it takes place, um, obviously both seasons are just leading up to Rogue One, starring the main character of Cassian Andor. And literally the last episode of season two, you could put on Rogue One right after, and it would be a smooth transition. Though you would notice that the writing quality would go down from Andor to the other, the Rogue One. Um, the dialogue is extremely like well done and purposeful. Um, the messages and themes tackled in the show are, mature and nuanced. Like you are seeing um the sort of there was a video essay I saw on it recently called "The Banality of Evil," and that's it. That's the Empire right there. There's like a level of just absolutely almost as if boring evil that is there, and you get to see what it's like to try to live under the Empire and how it crushes up every person who works for it, and why like the rebellion is necessary, but also how many sacrifices it takes to make the rebellion work. Like there's it's really good.
Hmm.
It's really good. Um, you get to see lots of scenes with Mon Mothma, who's, extremely minor role in literally everything else, but here is gets a bigger role and get to see how it's like being in the Senate, which let's be real, doesn't have that much power because it's all under the Emperor.
Hmm.
And trying to do what's right and trying to help the rebellion in secret while also being like watched and having to deal with all sorts of other actors at play, real political thriller type stuff.
Hmm.
And then you have Cassian Andor, who became very like they do a lot to really make that character endearing and like get his story and how he gets pulled into it. And oh man, it's I could really like not recommend this show enough. It is expertly done.
Wow.
Like, for example, one character that we tend to follow is this little he's kind of a nobody guy, Cyril, who works for the Empire, but believes that it is in the right and that he is doing, he participating in a just system. And you get to see how that belief and that like following through for this cause begins to kind of like the empire is a system that destroys itself and the people who work for it because it only exists to support the person at the top, Emperor Palpatine.
Hmm.
If this sounds familiar to any current politics, yes,
Hmm.
it's really good. It's a very important show. So, big recommendation for Andor.
Hmm.
Um, on the other side, I'm not finished with it yet, but I've been watching Wonder Man from the new Marvel show featuring the Wonder Man and Trevor Slattery, aka You'll Never See Me Coming, Mandarin guy, the
Hmm.
actor.
Yeah.
And he's great in this. He makes a good duo with the quote unquote Wonder Man, who is an, a guy with powers who's keeping it secret, but really wants to be an actor, and so the big thing is he's trying to get a role in a remake of the movie Wonder Man, which he loved when he was a kid. And it's a lot of fun. It's a very fun show.
Hmm.
I haven't finished it yet, but I've been enjoying my time with it, and it's very different from a lot of the usual Marvel stuff. There's this sort of like, I don't know, it feels very like,
I would say a show that is kind of in on the joke and intentionally tearing down all of the tropes that are fundamental to the setting and narratives uh, would be something more up the current MCU's alley. Then I remember that She-Hulk exists and that they can still fuck that up. So it's nice to know that they aren't for this one.
yeah, there's a real like sincerity of, what it means to be an actor and like pursuing the art and everything. And that feels like it's nice to go along with that more
Hmm.
than just the superhero stuff. Like the superhero stuff isn't the focus as much as the character writing is, and that's to the show's benefit.
Hmm. Cool.
Because when you make the superhero stuff the main focus, it loses the importance, you know?
Hmm.
Um, Aside from that, I went to a wedding, my brother's wedding.
Yeah.
Uh, he is now married, my younger brother. So now,
Oh dear.
yeah, yeah, you understand, right?
Don't worry, I've been the disappointment for like a decade and a half. It's fine. You get used to it.
So looking on those dating apps, everybody. Um, yeah. It was a nice trip. Got to go and got to see his apartment and everything, and went out for dinner. Got some nice like seafood linguine with like a whole bunch of seafood and stuff in it. It was really good. Um, but yeah, aside from all that, there's a new patch for Honkai Star Rail 4.0. We are going to a new world, and it's really good. I played the main story of it. If anybody has followed Honkai Star Rail, each new like point oh is usually a planet. Um, this new world is plain Arcadia. It is the home of the elation, essentially, which is the path of hey, haha, funny, haha. And it is a very comedy focused storyline, and I really enjoy it. Super funny, super cool with like the area design where this world at one point was squashed down into 2D and then brought back into 3D, and so now you have a bunch of like cartoon characters come to life running around the town, and you can like go into areas and then turn the game into a 2D platformer and jump around and do challenges. It's super fun.
Hmm.
The writing in general has also seen an improvement. Some of the criticisms that you can levy towards past patches has been the characters getting a little bit too verbose.
Yeah, that's a thing in Hoyo currently. Well, we can get into that in a little bit.
That's not a problem here, though.
Hmm.
They've addressed it. Like
That also seems to be a thing. You know, that was literally the next point I was going to make when I remember they were
yeah,
talking about Star Rail. But yes.
yeah, they've tightened up the writing considerably and added in more things to break it up, so it's not just like going on forever.
Hmm.
So yeah, it's a really good patch, really fun. Excited to you know do more in that patch because they added in a ton of quests and other side content and things. So that's
Hmm.
fun.
Yeah.
Other than
And
that,
and and
Final
and
Fantasy,
and
yeah,
and and
and
and
ZZZ.
and ZZZ is going through a very similar transformation currently of like, wow, did Ye Guang talk a lot in 2.4 and 2.5? That is a character who likes to be particularly purple with her personal prose, um, and that that wore a little thin for some more than others. I just kind of rolled my eyes and buttoned through a lot of it, but a lot of people were really annoyed by it. Um, But in 2.6 that came out like a week ago or something like that, it's really just kind of toned down. And also, we're not in fucking ZZZ China anymore. It's back to 6th Street for this patch, which is very
Oh, yay.
nice. They opened the club that has been closed since the start of the game
Oh, yay.
for the Angels of Delusion, who I love. They are just adorable and pathetic goobers, every single one of them. It's just great. Yeah, so that's been nice to do. Of just that a nice story that almost it is literally coming home in the narrative sense of hey, you're going back to 6th Street where the game started, and it feels like coming home in terms of the narrative and writing tone and such things like that. It's very cohesive in a way that I wasn't expecting, and probably is unintentional.
Yeah, and to kind of parallel that back to Honkai Star, all of Amphorius was very self-contained. And then you get to the new planet, and it's like, oh, hey, here's these characters from all these other different worlds that you've been to, and they're just here, and we're continuing all their stories, and it's nice. Like familiar faces just showing up and being involved with and doing things
Yep,
again, you know?
yep, same, same. Oh, this apparently seems to be a company wide thing, and I appreciate it on every level. For what it's worth, I am glad that Honkai Star Rail is good because I like it when people have a good time. It is not to my taste. It's just not.
That's fine.
But yeah, good games being good is always nice.
I would play ZZZ more. However, it is much harder for me to play ZZZ on my phone than it is to play Honkai Star Rail.
Yeah, because ZZ is a real game.
Um,
That
because it
positivity
requires me
towards Star Rail lasted about 12 seconds.
because it requires me to pick up a controller to play it well.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah, it's a real
Honkai
game.
Star Rail, I
It's a real
can
game.
it's turn-based, so I can really, if need be, do an auto battle for farming and not waste my time.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, aside from that, um, 14 had a small update. I just logged in and they had like new mecha mounts and this Space Admiral outfit that I decided to buy and just make a Space Emperor glam because it's space. Why not?
Space.
They're doing the space exploration thing, which is for like crafter gatherers, and I'm like, I don't want to do that. It's enough grinding. I have yellow. I'll just buy the stuff. Why not? I don't have as much free time as I used to. I really don't. That's the pain of being a teacher, you know? Like
Yeah.
no free time.
Yeah.
But tomorrow I have a day off, so looking forward to that. I also last thing is or last couple things. I played No Sleep for Konami Date, which is kind of a 1.5 for the the Somnium Files games. Kind of it's like a side game that goes between the two, but it's a nice series of escape rooms and things that you have to solve, and I like that. I like solving puzzles. So
Mm.
scratching the brain real nice.
Yeah.
I got some other games I gotta still work my way through, but
Mm.
I mean, I'm kind of just like at this point ping pong between them because like I still have to go back and beat that Star Wars Survivor game, and I feel like that game has too much content. In fact, I feel like it should have less. I don't want to go exploring all these places and doing this platforming, which is not particularly good platforming at all. Um, I'd rather you just give me um, some story fights and stuff and not an open world.
Mm.
Please, I don't want an open world in this game. Moving through it takes forever, even with a mount.
Yeah. I did get a bit tired of the first Jedi game. There were things to like about it, but it was a little bit tedious in a lot of ways, and it's not especially surprising given that the first game was pretty successful. That they mostly kind of just doubled down.
The issue is that the upgrades don't feel very meaningful.
Yep.
Um, and then when there are like you can go exploring and find things, and there's a chance you'll either find a cosmetic, or B, oh hey, another use of your healing item that's a permanent upgrade.
Hmm.
And so it's like, well, I mean, should I explore? And I get just kind of exhausted from it.
There's 95% chance this is going to be completely fucking pointless, but that 5%, man, it's the mystery box. It could even be a boat.
There's nothing more disappointing than completing this awesome challenge and like, oh man, that was so tough. The reward for this better be good. I open the box. It's like you unlocked goatee.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I'm like, why? Why was that there? You unlocked mullet. I hate you, game.
You unlocked the ability to not have a haircut. Oh shit. That's the rarest
Like,
ability in the game.
I have a design for my character. You know, it's Cal Kestis. He already has a face and everything. I just do what looks good. No, I don't want to do all these random freaking facial hair things. Just
No, I don't want to wear an ugly yellow poncho. Thank you. I,
let me just. I was hoping you'd give me like, oh, I don't know, a max force power upgrade or a max HP thing or this. Really? This does not match the difficulty it took to get this.
it would be nice if it did both. Or if it was like, even if it's something completely. It's not going to feel like it makes a difference, but you can pretend. Like, say, hey, here is a thing that gives you 1% more damage with your lightsaber, maybe. And given how fights go in that game, that means fucking nothing. But it's big in number. You can pretend, at least.
And they do the thing where it's like, oh, I can't access this area. I have to come back later with a future power up. And I I I cannot care. I cannot be
Yep,
made to care.
yep. Remember all these places that you need to come back to later, 20 hours from now.
I I don't want to. Thank you. This only stresses me out. Like it's different if I'm playing like Silk Song, where it is a 2D and it's like super fast to get back to
It's easy to
areas.
navigate both in terms of traveling and in terms of map navigation, because that was a whole other kind of worms in the Jedi games.
Yeah, no, the map isn't better. Like it's the stupid freaking 3D map. And to get to areas, I can't just like there's fast travel, but then it's also like go through this hyper specific route to get to this one specific area that has this one specific door that you can now open. And I'm like, I don't want to do that
If you
because I'm
want
going to do that.
exploration to be a big thing in your game, you need to make exploration feel good.
Like, I'm going to go there, and you know what I'm going to find? I'm going to find a freaking ponytail. That's what I'm going to find. And
No,
I'm going
no,
to be
you
like,
don't
why did you
understand. If
put
you do
this
the
there?
next one, you're going to get a rat tail, and it's going to look so good.
I understand that um you should put like accessories and customizable elements as rewards in your game. I do not think that you should put them in like the same sort of general pool of things as permanent upgrades. I think that's stupid.
You know what you do? This is going to sound absolutely fucking crazy. Oh, I'm sorry. You know what you do? Use money. Not real money.
See, here's the thing.
In-game currency
Here's the
of
thing.
just
Here's the thing.
there's money in these places, and you just pick up the money, and then when you go to a shop, you can see all the things, all the cosmetics that maybe you want to buy, and then you just fucking buy them.
But there's stores. There are stores and exchange areas. And in order to access those, you get those from exploring and finding little pieces. And then you go in and you know what's in those stores? 90% are just customizable accessories things, but then 10% are like really expensive, actual important upgrades. The mixing of the
Yeah,
pools is present everywhere.
yeah, but that's fine though, because like 90% of the accessories and cosmetics you're not going to give a shit about. You're only going to want to buy the ones that you actually give a shit about. So if it's only like money and occasionally a big upgrade that you find out in exploring the worlds, then guess what? If it's a bit of money, well, that's some progress towards buying another upgrade or cosmetics, whatever. If it's a big upgrade, great, fucking fantastic. Either way, you feel like you're making progress. It feels important. It feels like you're doing something that will matter to you playing the game.
Yeah, no, it's poorly done with how the progression in that system is. Um, to
I'm
the
just
point where
saying,
it's like,
this is a problem that was solved.
yes, it was solved. Do I care about the story? Yeah, I care about the story. Do I care about the story enough to go talk to all of these random NPCs for 15 minutes? No, I don't. I don't really care about that.
It wasn't, I'm going to be honest, the first Jedi game wasn't exactly a thrilling narrative.
I mean, yeah, but
I have seen the one moment that maybe makes it kind of sort of worth it, but I didn't get there myself. I knew it existed because I had seen the cutscene, but it did not make me excited to get to that point in the game enough for me to actually finish playing the fucking game. I did that one thing that was like a temple full of puzzles or something, and I finished that, hated like 80% of my time in it, and then I stopped playing because, like, fuck this.
the main reason why I'm playing this is because I want to freaking swing a lightsaber around, right?
Yeah, that's cool.
I want to do cool force powers and lightsaber combos, and um, instead the game is like, hey, do you want to do platforming and puzzle solving? And I'm over here
No,
like,
not really.
no, no, I kind of just want to fight things and like feel cool deflecting laser blasts. Well, actually, what that tells me is you really want to do platforming and puzzle solving for consumables and other things. I'm like, not really.
Yeah. Hey, remember those games you did like 15? Jesus Christ, it's 15 years ago. 15 years ago? It was like all about doing cool things with lightsabers and force powers, and your company had this whole engine built around doing cool shit with force powers. Remember
Yeah,
that? That was cool. Can we? Is that a thing? No, we have to play Dark Souls with lightsabers and platforming.
if
Sometimes it's Dark Souls with
if
lightsabers, but most of the time it's platforming and puzzles.
if I play a Zelda game, then I go in there knowing that I am playing it because A, I care about the story, and B, I actually do tend to like the puzzle solving element of that series. Um, if I'm going to go play a game where the main draw is look at all these cool lightsaber styles, I'm going to play so I can use the lightsaber in all these cool styles and have fun. But I feel like with the Jedi games, Fallen Order, Survivor, um, they're doing too much that they don't need to.
Do they actually let you use the different styles in Jedi Survivor?
Yeah, you can you have one lightsaber, you have two lightsabers, you have double-sided, you have the cross guard Kylo Ren style that's like a
That,
great sword style.
that is not
And
what
then
I
you have
meant, but okay.
no, these are what you get.
I meant
Not
like Gemso and
not the
Ataru
no,
and
no,
Vakad
none
and
of the lore styles.
no.
No. No. These are styles that they came up with.
Okay. It it would have been really nice if they played into that a little bit of like, hey, you use Sorasu and you fucking fight like old man Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is very defensive and stuff and parry shit.
No,
And
it's a very shallow
Ataru and your
combat system.
fucking acrobatic shit all the time, or you can fight like Mace Wind. It would have been, admittedly, the fuck is it? Something Kestis.
Cal Kestis.
Cal Kestis is he was an apprentice and he fucking forgot 90% of his training so that he can learn it again for the sake of the gameplay. But yeah, it would have been really nice to actually play into how lightsaber fights work.
I mean, it's the you can equip two styles at a time, which is stupid. It is the combat is very simple in a way that I don't really like.
Yeah.
Now, do I still like swinging a lightsaber at things? Yes. Would it be cool to switch through the five styles that they gave me, like I'm playing some sort of an action game? Yeah.
There are times when you realize, hey, it would be cool if some games weren't Dark Souls. That'd be neat. Like, don't get me wrong, that fighting style works really well. But hey, there are other ways to do things, and variety is the spice of life. Maybe get your own identity instead of just copying someone else's homework. Yeah.
And I should also mention that there are some enemies in the game that straight up just feel unfair for no reason.
Mm.
Um, just comboing uh multiple attacks that are like unblockable or can't be parried.
Mm.
And it's like, well, that makes my parry style pretty useless, huh? Yeah. But I guess yeah, I use all the different styles, I guess. But I only use two, so uh, anyway, I'll beat the game and then I'll not play it again.
Yeah, that's really. Interestingly enough, I was actually considering, hey, that Clair Obscura Expedition 33 is pretty good. I might play that again.
I
Start
mean,
that from
hey,
scratch.
still pretty good.
Yeah, it's still pretty good.
Um,
Still winning fucking awards.
yeah. That's about it for me though. Other than like work stuff, and we had like an in-house field trip, which is we had people come and set things up in the gym for the kids, and so they got to get out of class and go do a bunch of like activities. It was like a history thing. They got to learn how to like, you know, tie squirrel knots and make Patty Reed dolls, just California history stuff.
Hmm.
And they had a ton of fun for that. And yeah, that's about it for me. Please vamp while I go to the bathroom really quickly so I don't pee myself.
Okay. Here's the thing about vamping. You can't ask someone to just do it on their own. It's not really. How you doing out there, audience? You doing good? I'm doing pretty. Kind of thought he was actually just kind of doing a bit when he said he needed to pee earlier. I didn't think he actually needed to pee just because I was talking about it for a little bit. Did you guys pee? Was that a thing that happened to you guys too? I mean, I feel kind of bad about that if it did, but also it's healthy. You know, it's what I understand. It's really not good to hold it in. It's rude of the hospital. I'm doing way better at this vamping alone thing than I thought I would when Zero immediately told me to do it with no warning. But it's cool, you know, just, you know, take care of yourselves out there. Understand the limits of your body and figure things out. Try to take care of yourselves. Eat right. Pee. You know, all the important things. I think. Is there anything else you need to do to be healthy? I don't know.
Anyway, yeah, you should also, if you gotta go and in order to be healthy, right?
Hi.
Hi.
Use a dick.
You say that, but I was very patient. I held that for an hour.
You gave me like 1 second of warning and said, "Hey, vamp for me." Like, what the fuck was I gonna do? All right.
You've done it before.
Not when you were alone. Like, you just.
Yeah, huh? You're fine. You're built different.
Apparently, I fucking nailed it. So,
Yeah, there we go.
anything, anything else to be mentioned? Bring up?
No, that was basically it.
Well, it's February, so we
Uh,
need to do the thing.
yeah, I have it pulled up. Thank you to our patrons, Rehits of 21, Vale, Greek Guy, Ethan F, and the Cross Brain. Your support is welcome. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hmm. So I guess we're in the spoiler stuff thing that I said we
Yeah,
were gonna
so
do earlier.
how's that Dragon Quest 11 Act 3, aka why is this game continuing?
Acts 2 and 3 played through basically from the
Oh,
start of
okay.
Act 2. When I had stopped, I had done all the personal individual side stories, one of which I maintain. What the fuck? Why are we doing a time and side story? Jade's side story was certainly a thing to just drop in there in a what like Peggy 12 game. Okay, that's a thing we're doing. All right, we're fucking all right. Um, but yeah, I had done all those, and I had done the introduction to Act Two up to beating Jasper for the first time in the castle. And the reason I got annoyed was the whole what's the fucking name? King Carnelian. That was it. Uh, he sure was able to be a dick for a guy with absolute contrition and guilt over the things that he was doing. Well, the things that happened and were done through his body, uh, which was a lot. Uh,
Hmm.
sure was able to stay on his high horse for like most of that sequence while I was doing him all these favors. Great. Definitely didn't leave a sour taste in my mouth. Um, yeah, so that Act 2 was definitely an interesting way for the story to go of you getting the band back together, just collecting all of your allies who have varyingly gotten into the shit. And then you get to Arborea, where you meet Serena again, and that's cool. And it's like, okay, so this is where we pick up the sisters, because I knew for a fact that Veronica is totally, uh, in Act Three because there's the whole there's a thing that is basically romance outlines towards the end where you can do like post game stuff and basically pick a partner to live your life with, kind of is how it kind of seems framed. And Veronica was an
Hmm.
option, not a romance option, just to be clear. I don't think. So I'm like, yeah, this is where we pick up the sisters. And nope. Uh, yeah, I was not really prepared for a party member to have died. So that was
Nobody is.
very surprising. Like it's not exactly a rarity in RPGs. We literally mentioned other games that do that. I'm just gonna say um, earlier in the episode. Um, but like, yeah, that kind of struck me, and it was handled pretty damn well. It's very impactful. Good for them. Good storytelling tops. In fairness, it's Square Enix. They've done this a lot. But yeah, so that whole thing happens, and then there is this weird sort of interlude where you go to the desert region, and you've got uh, Erdwin's Lantern. I want to say it's called the big fucking red rock thing covered in like writing, and it is about to crash into the desert. And through reasons that doesn't happen, uh, and there is a little fucking tockle dude. Like, by the way, the definitive S edition with all the tockle stuff kind of spoils a lot of how this is going to go. Just going to say, hey, there are these little dudes that are all about time travel, and you are seeing them all over the game, and also an evil one for some reason. I wonder if that has anything to do with how this is going to go in Act 3. But yeah, so that whole thing happens, and you hear about this fucking thing called Kalasmos, and then the entire problem is completely solved because one of the bad guys shows up and just fucking ends it. Okay, that was fucking weird. Anyway, and the
Hmm.
game doesn't mention it and bring it up in any way again for the rest of Act 2. Like, you don't even ask the dude about it when you see him again. Uh, it's just a fight and then it's over. And then you get into Act 3, and it's funny because the way that the story works, if you just stop at Act 2, well, it's pretty much fine. Like, if you just take that as the ending and don't do the Act 3 where you go back in time, both threats have been completely nullified. It's over.
Yeah.
Because, you killed Mordigan. That's the point of the whole story. But then the secret bigger threat was also completely fucking killed by Mordigan earlier in the story. So, everything kind of sucks, but it's getting better. And there are no more threats on the horizon. Everything's fine.
Act 2 is a perfectly serviceable endpoint. It's an ending where you can just say, okay, that's it.
And that works. And then Act 3 starts. And I'm going to be real. I love Sylvando so much. I am so glad. I saw, I looked up, like, when a thing happens in Act 3, it's a very delineated point of this is going to change the story drastically. I looked up, okay, is this a point of no return? And it's like, yeah, kind of, but like there's nothing missable in the game. It's just there's a few optional scenes that you can watch before you do the thing. And you'll miss out on those if you do this right away. And I'm like, okay, I kind of want to see those, though. Those are probably like character things, and I like this story mostly for the characters. So, yeah, okay, I had missed the point where I needed to stop to do those, so I loaded a save and like went back and did that. It was like an extra half hour of like doing everything again. It was totally worth it just for Sylvando's dad just totally getting into the dancing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like, oh fuck, this is exhausting. Oh my god. He's got the fucking feathers on and all that shit. It's fucking great. It's so good. Yeah, so that was all cool. And then basically through chicanery you have the option of going back in time. It's like, okay, cool. I was not expecting how that plays out for the start of Act 3. The whole Mornigan thing.
Yeah.
Of just like, okay, you go back in time to right before you go to the World Tree again. It's like, okay. So that means you can immediately stop the threat. And it's like, not really. Because you go back in time and you kill Jasper. And Carnelian is like just completely on the ball. Okay, situation's changed. I need to fucking change tacks. Okay, Okay, make sure Jasper dies before you can say anything. Okay, wonderful, Luminary. You can fulfill your destiny by taking the sword while all of your friends are here and on guard because of Jasper. So I obviously would never think of doing anything nefarious right now with all of your friends kind of watching me. So yes, and then we can go back to my castle for a celebration. Yes. And it just sort of, for like an hour of the game, it just turns into this weird sort of Death Note thing going on. Just, the bad guy is like totally fucking bullshitting you for the entire time. And he's just sort of like, okay, how can I do this now? Everything's fucked. I need to really quickly plan a way to do this without them catching on. It's just so good. I am disappointed that ended as quickly as it did because it was very fun for the hour that it was happening. I wish there was an option to just string him along for longer just to fuck with him.
It's like, you already know what's going to happen. But it's pretty funny that.
Yeah. And then you do the thing, and then the whole... The Kalasmos thing starts up again, and you find out, okay, there's a very specific thing of... They talk about how Erdwin defeated the Dark One, specifically. And then certain people don't actually say Mordigan. which I will be interested on a replay, which I might honestly do. Whether that's consistent, whether the right characters are saying the right one, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I am at the point where I could conceivably go and fight the big super ultimate final boss. And I'm hoping for two things. I haven't done any of the side things of like, hey, fucking all of the problems that were a thing that you handled in Act 2 are now back to not being solved, so you have to solve them again. So I haven't done any of those yet. Like fucking what's his name? The mum and dad from Dundrasil. I haven't done that again yet, but apparently I can.
There's a lot of stuff that opens up in Act 3.
Yeah, I have noticed that. Yeah. Like rebuilding cobblestone and stuff like that. That's an interesting thing. That fucking blindsided me because it was like, hey, you need to go get Dirk because he's a merchant and he can get supplies for cobblestone. It's like, okay, cool. I'll go back to it's like fucking fast travel away. It's fine. And like, no, he has been picked up by a fucking bird and carried to the top of Cobblestone Tor, and it's like, what? Oh, okay. I can go back. Like I said, it's just a fast travel away. It's fine. Okay, it's a bit longer because I don't have a fast travel point there, but that's still fine. It's like, it's the starting dungeon. How bad could it? And then that thing fucking kicks my ass so hard it almost completely wipes my party. Like, I think I ended it with just Hendrik hanging on by a thread. That bird was a menace. But yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff to do in the Act 3 stuff. But like, the two things I'm hoping for is one, what the fuck is Kalasmos? Because it got it brought up like in 5 minutes and no one has explained what the fuck it actually is. And two, I kind of hope everyone gets their memories back from the time travel, because that would be really, really sad if they don't. I would feel really bad about it, because I'm not sure, because it seems to be playing like, oh, they're always your friends, they're always going to be your friends, and all that sort of like very nice and a little bit cheesy narrative, because it's a Dragon Quest game. It's that kind of feeling a lot of the time. They somehow decided to not bring up any of the nefarious implications of what Jade was going through during the break between Act 1 and 2. It's weird. But, yeah, so I can only see the fact of, hey, these are who your friends were, but they aren't really your friends as you know them anymore, because you have had all these experiences with them that they have no longer had. And that's weird and would probably make them feel like strangers again. But I doubt they're going to play it that way. But I can't help seeing it that way.
Mm-hmm.
You, having played the game, probably know the answer to this. But I don't know. I'm kind of ready to be disappointed.
All I will say is that, from what I remember, I myself was not disappointed. However, there are lots of people who were disappointed. So your mileage may vary.
Oh, so like I said, I did get to the point where it's like Super Kami Guru has decided to unlock everyone's potential, so everyone's leveled back up to the way they were before. But that's not the same thing, obviously. And makes me think that, it's not going to happen. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. My brother got really into like all of the Dragon Quest games and has now gone through like all the like old ones and everything. I have very limited experience with the franchise. There's only like 2 games in this series that I've seriously played.
This is the only one I've played.
Yeah, for me it was this one and then Dragon Quest 9 on the DS.
I played some of Dragon Quest Builders 2. That is my other experience with this series.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an interesting series. It can get surprisingly dark sometimes, and it's interesting that they let that darkness sort of sit in Act Two, and that is a
Mm.
valid endpoint of just solving everything in Act Two, and that's fine. And that is an endpoint, and the world is saved, and everything's fine. But all the bad shit definitely still happened. Or you can go for the ultimate, true, perfect, super happy ending and try and undo all of the bad shit before it could possibly happen. That is an interesting way to play it. And in hindsight, I think that makes the credits a correct choice. Honestly, I think Act 2 might be the stronger ending as a narrative.
Um, that I've seen that take a lot, and I'd probably be willing to agree with that.
It is nice to be able to go back and have the option of fixing everything and giving everyone their happy ending. But as a story, I think Act Two probably is a better way to handle it.
Yeah. Um, it's one of those things where, like, I'm a bit myself, like, torn because, yeah, you want the happy ending, but also, like, is it really better than the other ending?
Mm.
One's more traditional, one's more non-traditional, but uh, mm,
It's sort of like if a story had its own fic built into it.
yeah, exactly. Like, if it was a separate, like, thing, if it wasn't in the same game, this would be an entirely different discussion
I'm not sure it would. I
because it's
think we'd
like,
just be talking about how the sequel ruined it.
I mean, probably, yeah, but like, there'd be no nuance there, right? There'd be no like, it's very easy if like something comes afterwards to undo it versus
Yeah.
like,
And then you can say, just ignore the thing that came after. It doesn't matter. Just
yeah,
ignore that completely.
versus like
This is in
this
the
is part of the
same
same
game, so you
experience.
can't ignore it quite as easily. And you just have to sort of think it through of which version feels like the appropriate conclusion. And you can decide that for yourself, really. Like, it does give you the choice to walk forward and go back in time or not. And you could just say, no, I don't want to, and stop playing the game. It's kind of Undertale or Dark Souls in that way of like, okay, you stop playing the game here is a valid ending to the game. And that kind of works. So I
Yeah,
kind of appreciate that.
it's interesting.
What was the other example I used besides Dark Souls? It has immediately slipped my mind, and I feel like it was a sort of weird sideways.
Undertale.
Undertale, that was it. Yeah, no, that works. That works. That absolutely works. That is literally the same thing. That's a really good game, though. I will say it again. 100% recommend people to fucking play that game and enjoy it. Uh, it it took some swings I did not expect it to take. So yeah, and also some fucking weird ones that are still weird to me. Why is Jade a fucking Timon and protagonist? That's fucking. What are we doing?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. This is
I
some
like
weird
that you're
stuff.
saying, yep, yeah, like you know what the fuck I'm talking about. You innocent lamb.
Yeah. I I can use context clues,
Mm.
and that's enough, really.
Yeah. So I look forward to be done to be to being done with that game, so I can start it again, honestly, and play it better. Maybe do some of the
Yeah.
difficulty things to make it less simple. It's pretty simple most of the time, unless you're fighting birds that are apparently fucking harbingers of death or some shit, fucking on a random fucking rock in the middle of nowhere. I'm just saying, how did that thing not rip Dirk limb from limb before I even got there? Like, what the fuck?
That's just how it is.
It had time to take him away, for everyone to know that it had taken him away and where it had taken him, and for them to then tell me, for me to go back to where it had taken him, and he was fine when I got there. I'm just saying, maybe Dirk would have been fine either way. It apparently was cool with it and it just wanted a friend.
Well, maybe.
That game is weird, and I love it. Yeah.
It is.
So, yeah, that is a fucking 100-hour game easily. What am I on? Jesus fucking 118 hours.
Yep.
Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep. Yep.
118 out. It's a good game, but like this, I don't have time for big RPGs like I used to.
Hmm.
It sucks.
Hmm.
But you know, that's just the way it be.
Yeah. I mean, shut the fuck up. You're playing Final Fantasy 14. You're playing Star Rail.
I'm playing Final Fantasy. Okay, first of all, Star Rail's entire story patch is like 8 hours, and it comes out like once every month and a half. Final Fantasy 14, the amount of time that I play Final Fantasy 14 in a week is less than 4 hours. Like, I log in for my raid groups, and then sometimes when I have to go do a little bit of play, but really it's on average, I'm not playing that much.
That sounds to me like you play about 24 hours of video game a month. I'm just saying. That's just numbers.
Yes, a month compared to the hundreds I would have done before I had a full-time job.
It took me way too long to do 4 times 4 plus 8.
I think you should go back to school.
Uh, I think you're just trying to add more students to the pool of students so you have a job.
I'm not going to teach you. You're not 9 years old.
Again, it took me way too long to do 4 times 4 plus 8.
I mean, well, that's a fair point.
Oh, okay, yeah. I can't even get mad. It is a fair point. I made it. Like fucking.
My my students could do that way easier. So just put it out there.
I taught you the four fours exercise. Like fucking yeah, of course they can do that. Fine, whatever.
I haven't done it with this group.
You should. Worked out pretty well last time, if I remember.
Probably would, but we're learning about fractions right now,
Mm,
and
yeah,
that's its own sort of terrifying territory.
yeah. Anyway, I think that's a podcast.
That's a podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you all for coming by. Take care of yourself. Drink lots of water.
Jade's best girl. I don't care that she was a demon slave and in every way that apparently means in the fucking Dragon Quest game.
Just
She's
a
still the
weird,
best.
weird arc.
It's a
Weird arc for
weird
her.
arc.
One that maybe is indicative of the time in which the game originally came out, like 20, 30 like years ago.
She
Uh,
literally said he had his way with her.
yep, not
That is a
great.
line in the
Really
game.
not great. It's not good. It is really not good.
Yeah, that's a podcast. Bye, everybody.
Bye.